You're listening to Brian Sussman on Hot Talk 560 KSFO.
Okay, you can always get a podcast of this broadcast around the noon hour by going to KSFO.com. Take all 4 hours wherever you go via the pod. Now the idiot reel, ladies and gentlemen. First, you'll hear from Nancy Pelosi talking about artists not needing to work. Then you'll hear Ted Turner talking about oil and coal, how he'd like to, God has to do with oil and coal, oil spill, coal disaster. Cass Sunstein, Obama czar, talking about voluntary opposition. We're talking next to Arlen Specter, who says hello to the Western media as he's giving his swan song, thinks he's that important and popular. Howard Dean comes on. Richard Blumenthal, I misspoke about my Vietnam service, you liar. John McCain talks tough about, he asked Janet Napolitano if she's read the immigration law. Then Barack Obama, then Dick Durbin, then Barack Obama. Then a little anchor baby talking to Michelle Obama at a school. Then Barack Obama comes back again, talking about the Arizona immigration law. Then Felipe Calderon, president of Mexico, lecturing us. It's the Idiot Reel on KSFO.
We see it as an entrepreneurial bill, a bill that says to someone, if you want to be creative and be a musician or whatever, you can leave your work, focus on your talent, your skill, your passion, your aspirations, because you will have health care. You don't have to be job locked.
And you say get rid of coal, get rid of oil.
Phase them out.
And do it now.
Do it. It'll take a few years to do, but do it as quickly as possible with the same enthusiasm and hard work that we did to get to the moon. I'm not a real religious person, but I'm somewhat religious. And I'm just wondering if God's telling us he doesn't want us to drill offshore, because it sure is setting back offshore drilling. The Lord's tired of having the mountains of West Virginia, the tops knocked off of them so they can get more coal. I think maybe we ought to just leave the coal in the ground.
Sites of one point of view agree to provide links to other sites, so that if you're reading a conservative magazine, they would provide a link to a liberal site and vice versa. The best would be for this to be done voluntarily, but the word voluntary is a little complicated, and sometimes people don't do what's best for our society unless Congress holds hearings or unless the public demands it. And the idea would be to have a legal mandate as the last resort, and to make sure it's as neutral as possible if we have to get there, but to have that as, an ultimate weapon designed to encourage people to do better.
Good evening, my supporters, and most of the media in the Western Hemisphere.
Let's be fair about this. This is a New York Times gotcha story. It's an unfair story. It was planted by the opposition. It was planted by the opposition. The New York Times did not acknowledge that in their front page article. And so let's listen to Blumenthal's side of this. I think he deserves a chance to get his side out there, because I frankly think this is a hatchet job.
I may have misspoken. I did misspeak on a few occasions out of hundreds that I have attended, whether events or ceremonies, and I will not allow anyone to take a few of those misplaced words and impugn my record of service.
Have you had a chance to review the new law that was passed by the state of Arizona?
I have not reviewed it in detail. I certainly know of it, Senator.
So you're not prepared to make a judgment on it?
Senator, that is not a law. Let me just say this. As you know and are well aware, that's not the kind of law I would have signed.
In the 21st century, we are defined not by our borders, but by our bonds. So I say to you and to the Mexican people, let us stand together. Let us face the future together. Let us work together.
The Mexican-U.S. border, almost 2,000 miles long, is the most frequently crossed international border in the world. So when there are folks who talk about sealing the border, it's like saying, well, we're going to go out to I-95 and we're going to guarantee that no narcotics and no guns are going to pass illegally on Interstate 95 today. Imagine the challenge that would pose to any governmental unit trying to enforce it.
We also discussed the new law in Arizona, which is a misdirected effort, a misdirected expression of frustration over our broken immigration system, and which has raised concerns in both our countries.
Barack Obama's taking everybody away that doesn't pass papers.
Yeah, well, that's something that we have to work on, right? To make sure that people can be here with the right kind of papers, right? That's exactly right.
I think the Arizona law has the potential of being applied in a discriminatory fashion.
I strongly disagree with the recently adopted law in Arizona. I believe in communication. I believe in cooperation. We must find together a better way to face and fix this common problem.
Yeah.
It's a nice soft landing. We were able to make it home on time.
Yes.
It's been a great week of broadcasting with you, my fine friend.
Yes, I've enjoyed it.
We've been
always a pleasure to work with you.
Kicking butt and taking no prisoners here on KSFO, something we do well. Thank you to all you great listeners. We love you people, and I mean that. We absolutely love you.